No, 30. We made a mistake last week. We are live on YouTube, guys.
36, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 36.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent stuff.
How was your weekend?
Yeah, good. Just some time with the kids.
Family.
Yeah, good.
That's nice. Okay, right, here we go.
You can turn the music off as well. Oh, there we go. You can start it already. Fantastic. Right, okay. We're live on Facebook, and I'm just trying to make sure it's into position. Excellent. We might want to move back a little bit, Mark.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Right, we're live on Facebook now. Thanks for joining us for our Facebook Live. We do this every week on a Monday now, around about 5:30. So if you've got any questions for us, if you're a candidate, that is, if you've got any questions for us and you want to ask us some questions, feel free to send us questions on Facebook. You can message us on Facebook, the questions. You can even tweet it to us or send it on Instagram to Inside Vine, or obviously on here, or just even email at info@vineresources.com, or on our chat on our website. So we've got 5 questions this week, Mark.
Okay.
We're here in central London, over London Bridge, and it's been a beautiful day actually. So autumn, starting a good part of autumn, hopefully. Claude is based in Paris and wanted to know what we saw as the hot technologies or areas. He's looking to move away from his current role into something new. He's a C# developer. What would you recommend? He said.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the areas.
Well, I think on the sort of development side, we're seeing quite a lot around AI. Lots going on in that area, I think, isn't there? And robotics is another one that seems to be quite common and obviously quite buzzy and quite trendy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I think keep an eye open yourself. There's lots of news on industry news in these sort of areas. So yeah, just have a little bit of feel around and see what you think is going to be right for you. But I'd say yeah, certainly AI is big.
We made a few notes on this, Claude, as well. So again, Mark mentioned AI and robotics, and obviously that's a huge element at the moment. The government are talking a lot about that here in the UK. Certainly, most governments. Automation testing is pretty big at the moment. RPA, robotic programming automation, and obviously around software engineering, and also using other languages. So moving away from C#, there may be other things, other skills you can pick up. Maybe even Python, Ruby, even SQL. Lots of things, lots in demand. So obviously it also depends on what you want to do, Claude, and where you want to be based. But there's hot demand at the moment, and I think even if you just Google it, hottest demand in technologies for 2019, you'll get a whole list of people giving answers. So hopefully that's a field for you to think about.
Yeah, good luck.
Julian's a data scientist based in Berlin. He asked us, how many stages of the interview process are there in most companies for a permanent position, and what is the average time we're seeing at present for it taking from start to finish?
Yeah, I think we have this question a fair bit, and it's a good question, but it is also quite specific to each individual company. Yeah, absolutely. So
what are you seeing? What are you normally seeing?
I think certainly a minimum 2 interviews for permanent, possibly even 3. It's not unusual to have 4, to be fair. It all depends on availability and the various stakeholders that are involved.
Yeah.
And a process, again, from a timescale point of view, I mean, it could be anything from 2 to 4, maybe even 6 weeks. It really does depend. And sometimes the more senior the role, sometimes the longer the process. So different one to gauge. And I would always ask the question very early in the process with any organisation as to what their process actually is. How long it's likely to take, how many interviews there generally may be, who are the main stakeholders, and get a good feel for how long that process might take and if it suits your timescales with regards to your next opportunity.
Good idea. And you're seeing more and more companies who are sharing their interview process on their website, and in terms of the time it takes and what it goes through. And the forward-thinking companies are doing that on their website. They're reaffirming it during each stage of the interview process. So hopefully it's minimising your uncertainty there.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to share your timescales at the beginning of the process as well.
Yeah.
So this is what I plan to do. This is a commitment I want to have. This is the target I've got. By this date, I want to be at a stage where I'm making a decision on a new company. So
yeah, and they can either do it or they can't.
Obviously. Yeah, I mean it's a two-way thing. So yeah, if you have timescales, make sure you share them.
Yeah, and I think the quickest you can see is anything from a week to anything up to 2 to 3 months. Depending on the size, complexity of the organisation, where the stakeholders are, and everything else.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
Okay, Claire is a project manager. She's working between Amsterdam, your favourite place, and London. She wants to know how she can stop her contract finishing at Christmas each year, The last 2 years, it's been given her stress because she's of not knowing if she'll have an extension in January.
Right. It's a good question, and I would say ask the question early in the process, or early towards the end of the year. So if it's 31st December, 24th, 17th, ask very early on as to what the plan actually is thereafter. In some cases, it will be PO related, and the company kind of finances finish at the end of the year. Other cases, it won't. But even if they do, the line manager, I should imagine, will have a good idea as to whether or not his budget is going to enable you to stay into the next quarter. So certainly make sure you ask that question with plenty of time for them to make a decision and let you know what the plan is after the Christmas period.
Absolutely. I think you can try and, Claire, you can try and get them to, sometimes you might be able to get them to push out for a 4-month contract instead. Or if you're feeling really brave, you could even take a 2-month contract and then your contract always finishes in January. So
yeah, ask the question.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
always ask the question. And also you can see the workload anyway. And, it might not make you feel any better, but I can assure you there is a ton of other people in exactly your shoes. The other important thing I'd also say that we see a lot is, people go on holiday at the end, or their mind's other places at Christmas, and often or not, things just get left and get forgotten, and then people don't get extended, and all of a sudden, someone's taken, the contract doesn't go through.
Yeah.
So you've also got to stay on top of it, or if you're, working via an agency partner, they should be on top of it. They should be chasing and doing that 6 to 8 weeks before the end.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good advice.
Okay. Last question. Oh no, this is Balan. Balan is based in Belgium. He's asked us, how can an agency help me during the negotiation phase for the salary offer for my next permanent role, as opposed to me going directly to the company themselves?
Okay, well, I think it kind of distances you a little bit when there's an agency involved. They can maybe ask questions or approach things in a slightly different way, and it not be personal, whereas you asking yourself and getting involved in some kind of long-winded negotiation can be detrimental to the outcome of the actual role or negotiation as a whole, I think. So yeah, it's really having that sort of person to manage your expectations on your behalf, but also knows the client's expectation and therefore can make something happen that suits both parties. We're trying to make things meet in the middle so everyone's happy, and I think sometimes it's very, very difficult to do when you don't have the history with the client or the background with regards to their budgets, staff that are there at the moment, what they generally pay. Is it going to upset the balance? I think it's just a lot easier for us to take that on board.
I think you've made a great point there. I think we've seen it many times where a candidate or a customer may be emotional around around this period, and all of a sudden, because of one comment or pushback, all of a sudden it's broken down that relationship, and then on principle they've decided not to carry on. Now it might have been you could have had that comment to the recruitment partner, and they could have gently provided that to the customer, or vice versa. And I think as Mark said,
I don't think you want to ruin that process at that stage by having what could be potentially heated conversation, or just a little bit emotional. And I think that's where we should be doing that sort of thing for you and taking that pain away.
And equally, from a salary perspective, and of course they're getting the best deal for you. There's two parties here: the customer, the client. They want to pay a fair and reasonable price, and you obviously want to be rewarded well. So it might be that some things that you haven't thought about that actually say, well, actually, if you want an extra, €1,000 or £1,000 or 2,000 or whatever it might be, we can come up with what are those reasons why you're justifying that rather than just going in because I want that money.
And maybe what the market's doing, what the competitors are doing, we can advise on that, and sometimes that can again alleviate some of these pressures.
And Balan, I'm sure it's also, if you've got people you can talk to in your family or at home, you might not have people in the workplace because of course you might be leaving there. It's quite nice just to have a sounding board and to be able to chat to someone else about what's going on, and again, not just the salary, it's about the whole taking that role at that organisation that you could be spending the next foreseeable future at.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something we've been experienced consultants have been doing for many years, so they tend to be quite good at the process. So again, it's having that experience to negotiate as well, which can work in your favour.
We've got a final question from Arna. Arna is based in Stockholm, and he wanted to know about how to set up his own company in Sweden. He's actually moving. In fact, he's moving from Denmark to Stockholm, so I think he's Danish, and he asked what options are available to him as he's got a contract opportunity and wants to move to Sweden.
Yeah, I think the best advice that I can give, and I think you're probably much more experienced in that particular scenario, but I think work with a company out there that specialises in helping you. You don't want to get it wrong, and from day one you want to make sure that you're compliant and paying taxes in the right place.
Exactly.
But I'll let you elaborate on that.
Well,
recently.
we actually just posted a blog recently on this, Anna, so I can send you the link. It's on our website about setting up a limited company, limited liability company in Sweden. We've got a whole blog around that. It is quite straightforward. There's some implications you've got to consider with tax and everything else. You need an F-tax certificate and a number of other things in Sweden. But yeah, I can send you that link. It's all on our website at vineresources.com if you go to Insight. If you don't go down that route, the other option is that you can get someone else to do it for you. We have payroll providers, partners, umbrella companies, however you want to describe it, that are set up to provide freelancers and contractors in Sweden with a fully managed solution where you pay a monthly fee to them and they will manage that on your behalf. They manage all the invoicing and all the appropriate taxes. And again, that's a great solution for people who don't want to go through the trouble of setting up themselves, going an accountant, etc. Again, those are the two main options that are available to you.
Yeah, and ask around. You know, there's get yourself out on LinkedIn, share your question. Absolutely, get some decent advice and shop around. If something sounds too good to be true, and they're offering a tax scenario that just seems to be unrealistic, it probably is. It's probably not quite right. So yeah, just get it right, basically.
That's a great point as well. So yeah, I think obviously referring to if perhaps the solution isn't where you're paying all of your tax in country, you just need to make sure that you're doing it and above board. So good luck with that, Anna. Thanks so much. That was 5 good questions today, Mark.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will be back on a Facebook Live next Monday evening. If you've got any questions or would like to find out more about what we're doing or any questions that you'd like us to answer, just drop us a message here. Go over to Inside Vine on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, we'd love you to follow us there and to share and follow what we're up to. So have a nice evening.
Thank you.